Hello everybody, welcome to this week's episode of The County Seat. I'm your host, Chad Booth. There are two topics on the agenda for today. Number one is the convention centers of Utah. We'll find out about where they come from, how they're funded, and how they benefit the residents of the state of Utah. We'll also be looking at Senate Bill 221. This is a controversial bill that countermands or contradicts the Secretary of Interior's Wildlands Initiative, number 3310. We'll find out how that law works, and we'll discuss its genesis and the implications of it for the future. But right now, we want to turn our attention to conventions. Utah was not a tourist-oriented state until the election of Calvin Rampton in 1964. One of the first things he did to promote tourism was create the need for a convention center in Salt Lake City. It was called the Salt Palace. And those of you who are my age or above remember the big drum going up in downtown. But now that genesis has started to spread out to the other counties, and several counties now have or are planning or are in construction of their own convention centers. To bring you up to speed on that is Malia Bascom.
Thanks, Chad. Well, imagine that you and your friends want to build a swimming pool so that all of your neighbors and friends can come over and swim and hang out. Now you get the guy across town and his friends to pay for it. And then when they come over to swim, they pay again. Not a bad deal. That's how Utah counties with convention facilities see their projects. Publicly funded gathering places paid for by out-of-town visitors coming to spend money on local hotels, restaurants, and attractions. The funding for such projects comes from two specially dedicated taxes designed to shift the funding burden for building, promoting, and maintaining the facilities to the visitors coming to town. That combination of dedicated revenue has paved the way for additional centers in Cedar City, St. George, Layton, and now Utah County. Convention centers bring a whole new class of visitors to Utah, the conventioneer. This type of traveler pays the highest dividend to counties who have a vested interest in tourism, as they are compelled to come to the community because of the convention, but they can easily be lured back to vacation later.
They generally don't always meet in the same location, so there's so much opportunity to bring groups into an area and have them enjoy not only the meeting facilities, but the area itself.
People come from all over the world for those kind of things, and so it's a natural place for a convention center.
I had the King's singers, from London here 2 weeks ago, and the first thing they wanted to do was go to Zion and watch the sunrise.
Of course, the hospitality industry isn't the only benefactor of convention centers like this one here in Davis County. Other sectors of the economy cash in on convention centers too.
It adds jobs in terms of the construction as well as the maintenance and ongoing operations. So it's just a win-win.
But the addition of a convention center is not just about raising tax revenue and creating jobs.
And it's just wonderful to have a designated spot for us to always be here. There was a time when we didn't have this facility, and the Cedar City Music Arts Association had to hunt for places to perform.
They're used for a lot of things, from socials to conventions and conferences, to an occasional wedding and an occasional family reunions.
And it can be used for, multiple functions at one time or one large function.
The newest player on the block for a convention center is Utah County. Their decision to build a convention center was not based solely on future opportunity.
What the county is looking at and considering is to fill a need. Visitation to the area actually brings a substantial economic impact.
It's a cycle that repeats itself wherever convention centers are built. The key is to have something special to offer visitors in the first place. But here in Utah, we're lucky. The beauty of our state is more than enough reason for visitors to make the trip. For the county seat, I'm Malia Bascom.
Thanks, Malia. The Utah County Convention Center will be completed in the spring of 2012, and this summer in July they're going to have a topping event. If you'd like to find out more about that event, you can go to meetinutahvalley.com and get all the details on it. Well, stay with us. We'll be back with more of the county seat. When we come back, we are going to talk about Senate Bill 221. This is a bill that passed the legislature that counteracts the Wildlands Initiative, number 3310, that was passed or put in place by Secretary of Interior Salazar last December. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you look up epic in the dictionary, it's defined as heroic, majestic, or impressively great. Here in Kane County, Utah, we don't need a dictionary to tell us that. We live it every day. Stop reading about life and start experiencing it in Kane County. ATV adventures, jeep excursions, hike a world where the Old West was yesterday and tomorrow is just over the horizon. Kane County, Utah, where epic is more than just a word, it's our way of life.
St. George, Utah was recently named TripAdvisor's #1 travel hotspot, and travelers picked Zion National Park as the best national park. If you haven't planned your St. George or Zion getaway yet, visit atozion.com and find out why everyone else is already packing.
Won't you come and play with me?
St. George, Utah, everything from A to Zion.
What is play? Is it culture? Is it adventure? Is it...
Ooh, it's a destination.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's correct.
Cedar City and Bryanhead, in the heart of Utah's most epic landscapes. Beauty, culture, adventure. It's time you came out to play. Cedar City, Utah, where play is the thing. You haven't forgotten how to play. It's just that you haven't been to the right place yet.